In this video, little blooper there for a second. In this video, I'm going to use my rectangle shape tool to create a new pattern brush that is going to make lines into little squares. I could use in the stroke panel, there's something that allows me to make a dash line, and if I tweak it properly, I can make that look like little squares. But sometimes using the pattern brush works a little bit better. In a previous video, you may have seen me use scatter brush to make a brush that sprayed either circles or hearts or whatever I did before. This is different because I'm just going to be making squares and I'm not going to be applying any rotation to them. I just want something that represents a pattern that looks like a bunch of squares in a line. So to do that, I've selected my rectangle shape tool. I'm just going to click here once and I'm going to make the size of my brush 1 by 1 inch and hit OK. I'm going to make this so that it has no stroke, but a fill that is black. You can do that from up here in the control bar, or you can do it down here in the fill chip by double clicking on that and opening up the color picker. Either way is fine as long as you put in your desired color here. So with that still selected, I've got my brushes panel open. I'm going to go to the little sandwich menu in the corner of the brushes panel and choose new brush. Okay, so I've got a bunch of choices here. Like I said, before I made a scatter brush, and I could use that for this, but I'm going to use pattern brush today so you can see what pattern brush does. I'm going to click OK. It will show me, that's not very exciting. It's basically going to take my square, and because spacing is set at 0%, that means there's not going to be any space between the squares, so I got to bump that up. I think I'm going to choose 20% between them. I'm going to name my brush and call it 1 inch square. I'm going to leave the scale fixed and click OK. And make sure that when I do select that brush that I don't have anything over here selected. So this way, if I draw myself another shape, let's say I make that, I don't know, 8 by 8. 8 by 8 inch square. Yeah, I know it's filled in with black. I'm going to set the stroke to black and fill that in with nothing so you can see what I'm doing. While that's selected, I'm going to select my new brush that I just made. So I've got a bunch of squares in an 8 by 8 inch. Wow, that does look like, no, that's definitely not 8 inches. What the heck happened? Okay, because it's 80 inches. Let's make it 8. And it went away. If all else fails, Command Z to back up. Height 8 inches. Okay, well, hey, that's disappearing, so I'm going to make another one. Go figure. 8. Apply the brush. Hey, there we go. That's the way it's supposed to look. So that's what a pattern brush will do to that. If I want to make the smaller size, if I think, wow, 1 inch squares is really kind of crazy, what if I want to make smaller squares as a pattern brush? There are 2 different ways that I can do that. One, I can take the square that I have, option click and drag to duplicate it, take this and with properties panel, maybe make it 0.25 by 0.25, only a 1/4 inch, go through the whole brushes thing, set this up as a new brush, or I can, whoops, not do that, deselect it. I can take this and duplicate the brush and then choose this and do brush options and only change the options of this. So if I say We're going to guess at this 0.25. I'm not doing the math in my head, I'm just totally screwing up. Under scale, fixed, %. Click OK, select this, select that, and yeah, there you go. I've got a whole bunch of squares that are 0.25 in size. So no one right way to do it. You can make a smaller square, go to the little sandwich menu in the brushes panel, choose to make a new brush, or you can duplicate the existing brush you have and use the percentage scale to knock that down. Similarly, if you decide, ooh, gosh, look at this, they're too close to one another, you can also use that brush options thing to bump up the spacing. Maybe 20% for spacing isn't enough, maybe 40% is better. It will show you a visual here, and if you're happy with it, click OK. Apply to strokes.